Okay, how I would define a dive bar. I guess usually they're smaller, less crowded.
There's not a club in the bar, it's just a bar.
It's usually a jukebox with rock and roll.
An old school pinball machine or old school like video game machine.
Usually we'll have pool table or dartboards.
A lot of like vintage signs, lots of ashtrays, lots of drinks.
It's like it's gonna be dingy and kind of cloudy in there, like you can't see clear.
Someone once told me that a dive bar was kind of like a place where they had cheaper drinks.
It's less expensive.
It seems like it's more appropriate to pay with cash in places like that.
They give off a vibe like maybe they're a little bit dirty.
Dirty and kind of gross.
The furniture is not as nice. Maybe you'll see things fixed with duct tape like throughout the bar, and like a hole in the booth will be fixed with duct tape.
They usually let you smoke in them, even though like you can't smoke in bars in California.
It's a bar without any pretensions or intent to be cool.
You know, just the neighborhood bar, which is what a dive bar is.
Dive bar smells like
A fragrant aroma of
Cigarette smoke.
cigarette smoke.
Cigarettes, definitely. You can smell that a mile away.
body odor,
Piss.
urine, alcohol.
And beer and
Coors Light. Yeah, Budweiser. And then cigarette smoke. That's the main one.
depends on the time of day, or you know, and the day that you actually go. But you know, late at night on the weekend, it's loud, it's living. There's conversation, there's games going on.
And maybe like some pool tables, sound of pool.
There's music.
Usually like a really loud, drunk woman.
But you go on a slow, you know, afternoon, and the music is quieter than usual. There's a couple of locals, you know, talking in a low voice, maybe a game of pool going on. The games are always on, whatever it is, football, baseball. That's always great.
Last you another 6 months. The way you use your phone.
I would say there's usually about 4 or 5 gentlemen at the bar that are not talking to anybody, but obviously have been there for 4 or 5 hours every day for maybe 27 years. Bartender is usually tatted up.
Bartender looks unfriendly, but isn't.
It's a lot of local artists and musicians and
Homeless people and drunks.
Heavier drinkers go to dive bars normally.
Shitty people.
Good people.
You feel uncomfortable around them, but at the same time, it's just a bar.
Here's the way I feel about it. Historically, if you look at what happened to American culture at the end of World War II, people started abandoning the inner cities and started moving to the suburbs. And the suburbs really didn't exist before that. So because of that, for the last 50 years in this country, we've not had a very strong sense of community. And yet we're tribal. All people are tribal. So where do you go to hang out with your tribe? Where's the one place you go you can hang out with your tribe? It's a bar. I've gone to a lot of dive bars in my life, in many, many cities, in many countries actually. And you'll find that dive bars almost entirely cater to certain segments of the population. Like if you go to the jury room jury room is a little bit more working class, a little fewer UCSC students, less intellectual, a little bit more hardcore, a little bit more macho, stuff like that. And then there are different bars. You know, the 1007 is super heavy sports and stuff like that. You'll have some bars will cater to more bikers than others, and you know, the Rush Inn. The Rush is an anomalous dive bar. Got a lot of intelligence per capita, you know. So it's not typical in that situation. You know, a lot of the young people who come here are young working class people, but they're bright. They're very bright. So I'd say this is a much more intelligent bar than most dive bars. You know, each one has this little niche of people, but the thing is, they're tribes. That, to me, that's the essential thing. They're tribes.
The appeal of the Rush is that it's kind of your quintessential dive bar. You can go there and you can know all the bartenders that work there within drinking there in like 1 week. I mean, and that's not even if you're heavily committed to drinking. You can actually know, and then you know the regulars, and there's a community there. They all like the same kind of music that plays on the jukebox. I mean, it's one of those bars you can go to that, like, you know who the outsiders are just really quickly. And if you're not in that outsider camp, you get to be in the bar, and it's you get to belong somewhere. When I go to the bar, like, I'll sit around and I'll just have a few drinks, smoke a few cigarettes, and do like a crossword puzzle on my phone and listen to some music and hang out. And like, I don't have to talk with anybody. Just being in that kind of experience is just like, I feel like I've done something for the night. And like, it's not productive, but it's like, it's inductive. Like I'm a part of something at that point. It's one of the few times I get to feel like I'm the man.
Some of us, we know that we could go from bar to bar in this town. You know, Brady's, the Asti. It's where everyone knows your name. It really is. It's like fucking Cheers. It is. It's like where everybody knows your name.